Well, the other one I want to talk about is Toni Storm.
Oh, here we
She
go.
up and left.
Here we go.
Yes.
She took her bat and ball and went home.
Yeah. It's funny. I saw that, and you were the first person I thought of. Hence where I tagged you on something, and I thought, now he's either going to tell me to go forth and multiply or not. But that's one of the pair. But you know, and again, look, you know the person way better than I do. I don't think I've ever worked with her, but maybe I have.
Nah, she when she come across from New Zealand to here, I think I was. Yeah, she's Kiwi girl.
I thought, okay, because they announced her from the Gold Coast.
I had a couple of potential business arrangements with her that sort of fell through.
Okay.
And then when Shooter went across, I don't know if she went across with Shooter to England. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'd have to ask him.
Yeah.
But somehow they were in England together. Still don't know exactly how, because I'd got out of it by then. I was taking grass.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Pretty much full on. But I will talk about the Toni Storm thing, because this is a bit of a highlight of current talent. And I'm going to get either booed a lot for this or get said, oh, yeah, saying the right thing. But either way, I don't really care. Rap on anyone says. The problem today with talent, young talent especially, right, is everybody wants to be a star. Everybody wants to be at the head of the card. One of the first things I learnt from George and from Mario and from the old timers like that is that sometimes you're there to make up the card, you're not the head of the card. The head of the card setting the table, but you're getting the opportunity to eat at the table because of the guy setting it up.
Yep.
Right. So with Toni Storm, I don't know the exact insights and outs of this, right? So I'm only surmising. But I would dare say that that Toni should have stuck it out, because you've got the opportunity to do the thing you love to do. If you truly love it, you don't need to be the number one person at it. You're just happy to be there if you love it, right? So you're happy to be there. And like I said, not everyone is going to be a star. I mean, how do you compete? How does any woman at this point in wrestling compete with Charlotte Flair? It's not even a comparison. She had the opportunity to wrestle Charlotte Flair and get the rub off Charlotte Flair. That I think she's taken this exactly from the wrong position. I think she should have stuck it out, right? And she's a talented girl, without a doubt. She's very talented, right? Stuck it out. Who knows what was around the corner in 12 or 18 months' time?
Well, that's the thing, though. Look, and Anthony, I'm interested on your thoughts too. But see, from my point of view, I don't know her personally. But, yeah, we sort of consider her one of our own over here on this side of the world. And you want to see them all do well. Yeah, all the Aussies and the Kiwis, because, you know, if you make it over there, you've sort of made it, you know. As Frank Sinatra said, if you make it New York, if you can make it New York, you can make it anywhere. But you're right in that she got a massive push. She got a fantastic opportunity to showcase her name, her skills, her talent, everything up to a worldwide audience, like literally worldwide, working with one of the top, if not the top woman in the world at the moment. And yeah, like you said, you take your bat and ball and go home, because she allegedly paid her own flight, jumped on the plane, and just that was it, and said, I want out. Now, I'm not going to disagree with one thing you said, though, and I can be a bit harsh sometimes. I didn't think she was that great a talent. I never saw anything of her work in the ring that I thought, wow. And she was certainly not ready to hold the belt, like to beat Flair. And I wasn't.
No, I agree. I
really wasn't a fan of her work. I think she botched a bit, and she was still a bit. I don't know whether she was a wee bit overawed by it all, or a bit overwhelmed, or
the bits and pieces I saw with her over here.
Yeah.
And the bits and pieces I saw of video in England and that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
I think the style didn't really suit her 100%.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. You know, remember, everything's very stylized in WWE.
Yeah.
There's a certain way you need to work, a certain way you have to be. But in general, no, she's definitely not ready to take the belt off Flair, and definitely not ready to, and whether she'd ever be, I mean, 5'5" or 5'6" blonde women in the WWE, they grow off trees. They're everywhere. So,
and Alexa Bliss is coming back this week.
Yeah, well, we watched just Liv Morgan the other day have a great match. Liv Morgan has done a great job, but that she's not.
She's not, no.
George used to say, either you got it or you don't.
Yeah.
No matter how much you work, how hard you work, how much time you put into your preparation, your gear, whatever, if the fans are not going to hook onto you and you're not going to get over, you're not going to get over. That's where there is the Hogan situation, where he wasn't the greatest worker in the world, but the look and over. And that's where that's at the end of the day. Sometimes not how much skill you've got, it's how over you are. And I think
you get someone like a Lana or a Dana Brooke, and they're never ever going to be.
No.
They just didn't have it. It's look, nothing against them. I got nothing against them, but I wouldn't book them.
No, but the thing is that if you make it to that show,
yes,
it's Flair, it's Lynch, those two mainly at this point, right, are setting the table. It's like if you work for WWE, it's Reigns that's setting the table, it's Lesnar that's setting the table, it's Lashley that's setting the table. You're eating at the table, so your job is to make them look good. Your job is to help them, put bums on seats. See, that's the way it was explained to me from the old guy.
Well, that's right. Because, you weren't necessarily around, I don't think, in the heyday over here of World Championship Wrestling.
No, I mean,
where you had all the Americans coming in, and they were the star attractions, and our couple of big ones here were like Mario, Johnny Gray, Larry O'Day, Ron Miller. There was probably a handful. But all the rest, all the way down the card, from your George Barneses down to, people like Mad Dog Spence, even our own great friend Sam Rossi, all of Freddie Berger, all of them. They were all first, second, third matches, and they were never going to be more than that in that environment. But to your point about, staying on, and nothing stays the same forever. Now, those guys, when the Americans all left, became the mainstays in Australia.
That's right.
So you do get your opportunity, but it's what's the old saying? Teach a man to fish and he'll eat every day.
Yeah, that's right.
She might have got a couple of big payoffs, but she's not going to live off those 2 or 3 matches. But if you're consistently working there and you're on good contracts, and you don't know who falls over, who leaves, who breaks a leg, opportunity.
Well, you look, if they lost Lynch and Flair tomorrow, she's the next one up. That group of girls that are just underneath him, and the next one's up. Yeah,
like Bianca Belair, her. Yeah. You're like,
I thought she was way too premature to leave.
Yeah.
And I bet you there's people going to be here listening to this going, but you didn't take on her friggin' mental state. If she's got a mental issue, right? Right. Then I understand that and I respect that. But, she should have went and spoken to someone, got her head clear and come back.
Because
not just jump on a plane and take off. Yeah, that's right. I think I've heard reports which are saying I was sitting in the catering wondering what I'm even doing here.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity. But where else are you going to go in the world to get that opportunity in pro wrestling today?
Look, I tell you what, as someone obviously who's been involved, not physically as such, but say if I got a gig there as an announcer and I really want to do commentary, but they didn't have commentary and they said, hey, we'll let you do some announcing. I'd rather announce on there than commentate on some C or D grade show somewhere else.
Yeah, for sure.
The contacts you make, the information that you get, the intellectual property, the training facilities at your disposal, they're not opportunities that really come around too often, and particularly in the current climate where they've shed 150 bloody talent staff in about 12 months.
That's right, and there's only 2 really main promotions.
Well, there is basically,
yeah, that's it. You're not going to. There's nowhere in the Southern Hemisphere where, let's say, Toni Storm decides, had enough, I'm going to go and work in the Southern Hemisphere. For who?
Now, Anthony, I said I wanted to come to you, but have you kept the Toni Storm posters up in your bedroom wall, or have they come down?
If I kept them up in my room,
yes,
Mantle tore him down. So,
He's just looking out for his boy.
but anyway, no, back to this
Yeah.
thing. As I said, it surprised me. But I'm kind of thinking like, what? Like she had a couple of matches with Flair.
Yeah.
And okay, yeah, they're gonna push Charlotte Flair as far as they can push Charlotte Flair.
Well, she's money.
That's what I'm saying. She's money,
She's money, yeah.
athletic, former gymnast, right? Then you look at Toni Storm, like Toni Storm, and I guess Rhea Ripley kind of falls into this too, only goes for a certain demographic. The whole punk rocker type demographic, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
And that obviously they're trying to more or less move from that demographic.
I don't know. Oh, look, until something comes out, it's really hard to know, Anthony. But I mean, I'm a Rhea Ripley fan. I think she's excellent. She's
great. I'm not
got her just on simmer at the moment. She's not firing, but I got the feeling from watching Raw the other day that I think there's a heel turn coming.
She needs to turn on Nikki ASH.
Yeah,
she needs to turn. I'm over that tag team. She needs to turn.
I think she sort of wasted working with Nikki ASH.
Yeah,
It'd be a lot better. But anyway, that's so Toni Storm. It'll be interesting to see where she ends up.
and I think this should be a lesson to a lot of young workers out there, young wrestlers, right, that are listening to this podcast. That should, if they get that opportunity, hold on to it. You don't know what's going to be around the corner. I think she's really missed out on a great opportunity.
I think she's been a bit premature in this. I think there must have been someone there you could talk to.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Surely.
ring up home and say, I don't know what her status is, but it was not
anything
good.
to do with mental health or anything. We wish her nothing but the very, very
That's right, exactly.
Absolutely.
We don't
We're
want to
just
see
talking on what we can see.
Yeah.
And it just seems very premature.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, it's an opportunity that she may never get again. The reality is that if she's walked out on WWE, walked out on a contract, and the other thing is she can't wrestle anywhere else.
Wasn't there something I read that the 90-day clause didn't necessarily apply or not? No.
No, on their side. Not on her side. They can hold her out to that contract as long as they want.
90 days.
That's what I'm led to believe. No, it's not. It's not 90 days.
Oh, you meant to the contract?
Full term, yeah.
Oh, okay.
If they want to be nasty about it, they can hold her out. See, in their side of the contract, they can close it every 90 days. This is what I'm led to believe.
Okay.
Right? That they've got a clause in their contract that they get rid of you at every 90 days turnaround. They just need to give you notice before 90 days. So they can give you a 4-year contract, but every 90 days is up for review, basically.
Okay.
Right? It all falls into their side of things. But if they wanted to be nasty and they got her on a 2-year contract, they can hold her out. That means she can't wrestle anywhere. She can't wrestle for the local pub.
That's a problem.
That's a big problem. And I don't know how old she is. If she's the same age as those guys of Shooter and the rest of them and Riddle and that, she's probably late 20s.
Yeah.
I'd say. I don't really know 100%.
Yeah, but 2 years off is a long time.
Long time in wrestling.
In anything. In any sport. You try to make a comeback at top level after 2 years out.
That's right.
That's not an easy get. That's not an easy